Hello, everyone. My name is Michelle, and today I'm going to be talking about transportation challenges in the Yukon-Koyukuk region of Alaska. This region is one of the most remote and hardest to reach areas in the state. Because of that, transportation plays a huge role in shaping everyday life and the overall economy. In this presentation, I'm going to explain the background of the region, the main transportation challenges, and how those challenges affect the cost of goods, access to services, and the economic stability of the communities that live there. The Yukon-Koyukuk census area has a population of 5,680 people, and it spreads across a massive amount of land, about the same size as Germany. But unlike Germany's 84.12 million people, this area only has a few thousand residents, scattered across very rural and isolated communities. Most of the population is Alaska Native, and many communities rely on subsistence activities and local traditions. There isn't a main city or regional hub within the census area, and many villages are only reachable by plane or by river. This combination of huge land area and low population density makes transportation extremely difficult, and it also explains why the cost of travel and shipping looks very different here than in other parts of Alaska. There are four major reasons transportation is so challenging in the Yukon-Koyukuk region. First, there's limited road access. Most communities are not connected to the road system at all. That means you can't simply drive from one village to the next. Travel often requires flying, rivers, or using snow machines, depending on the season. Second, the region deals with harsh winter. During the winter months, extreme cold and icy conditions make travel very unreliable. When temperatures reach around -45 degrees, planes usually stop flying, and the roads that do exist can become unsafe. Third, transportation is very expensive. Because the region is isolated, airfare, freight, and fuel costs are much higher than in urban areas. Even getting groceries or everyday supplies in the villages can cost a lot. Fourth, the area is very large with a low population. The small population spread out over such a big area makes it harder to justify and maintain major transportation infrastructure, which creates more barriers to travel. This map helps shows just how large and spread out the Yukon-Koyukuk region really is. Most communities are really far away from each other, and few are anywhere near a major road or highway. This map also shows just how dependent many villages are on the rivers and air travel. It's a good visual example of why transportation is one of the biggest challenges faced by residents in this region. All of these transportation barriers have major effects on the people who live in the Yukon-Koyukuk region. The challenges spill over into four main areas: higher cost of goods, delay in receiving goods, limited access to services, and economic struggles for communities. On the next few slides, I'll go into each category in more detail. One of the biggest impacts is the higher cost of goods. Almost everything in these communities has to be shipped in, either by barge during the summer or by plane year-round. Freight is often charged by the pound, and that adds up quickly. Fuel is also more expensive in rural Alaska, and fuel plays into every part of transportation. When fuel rises, the cost of transporting groceries, building materials, and household goods also rises. Stores have to pay more to bring items in, and those costs get passed on to shoppers. This means that basic items like milk, eggs, and produce, cleaning supplies, hardware, it can cost significantly more in the Yukon-Koyukuk region than in road-connected areas like Fairbanks or Anchorage. The second major issue is delays in receiving goods. Bad weather is one of the biggest causes. Winter storms and extremely cold temperatures often lead to flight cancellations, and since planes are the main way supplies reach many villages, any cancellation can cause a delay in shipment. There's also something called freeze up and break up. In the fall, the rivers start to freeze, which means barges can't operate. And they won't be able to operate until the ice breaks up. Shipments can also get backed up in hubs like Fairbanks, and when multiple days of flights are canceled, freight piles up and villages have to wait for their turn. With only 1 or 2 flights a day, these delays can stack quickly. Transportation challenges also affect people's ability to access important services that are often taken for granted. For medical care, most villages don't have hospitals or specialty clinics. Residents often have to fly to bigger cities for even basic appointments, but especially surgeries or emergencies. Education is another area. Students who need testing, sports travel, or higher education opportunities have to travel far distances, usually by plane. Government services like the DMV or social service appointments are not available locally. Many times residents have to fly out or wait for visiting staff. And since villages don't have many repair technicians, even basic services like fixing a furnace or working on a vehicle may require someone to fly in. All of these issues combine to create economic struggles for the region. Because transportation is expensive, it's harder for businesses to operate. Stores, schools, and clinics pay more for freight and for repairs, which increases their cost. Job opportunities are also limited. The isolation of the region and the small population means that there aren't many employers, and this leads to unemployment and fewer long-term career options. As you can see, the unemployment rate in the Yukon-Koyukuk region is much higher than other areas of Alaska. Overall, transportation challenges make daily life more expensive and make economic growth much harder for Yukon-Koyukuk communities. In conclusion, the Yukon-Koyukuk region faces significant transportation challenges due to its remoteness, harsh weather, high cost, and low population density. These challenges raise the cost of goods, delay shipments, limit access to essential services, and restrict economic growth. Understanding transportation in rural Alaska helps us to see how infrastructure and geography affect the daily lives of people who live in these areas. This is a list of my references. I did use some from the course and some from my own research. Thank you for listening.